Dennis, stay with me. Martin Kpebu is private legal practitioner. He's joining us on Zoom right now. Counsel, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. And listening to the foundation, a very strong one that Dennis has put down on this matter. Now, would you expect a bit more explanation from the Attorney General on why plea bargain and non-prosecution agreements are the only means of getting or recovering the loot in specific instances, as against the expectation of the public that, you know what, if people have been involved in acts of corruption, they must be prosecuted. I mean, to serve as a deterrent and also boost the fight against corruption. Do you appreciate the sentiments of the public about these things?
Oh, yes, the public also equally appreciates that it's the law. And you know the law is the law. Act 1079. So let's just put it in simple terms. The plea bargaining law. Yeah, we amended the Criminal and Other Offences Act, that's Act 30, to include more elaborate provisions on plea bargaining. And that one was done in 2022. All right. And even before then, if you look at the Courts Act 1993, the cases when it involves state funds, yes, you can bring the money and then the court will be very lenient with you. So 1993 Courts Act. Oh. Then you go to the OSP Act, even corruption cases, there's plea bargaining. Okay. Yes. So please, I think citizens also need education that it's always been the law, and it's not only Ghana, the US, UK, India, almost everywhere in this country, there's plea bargaining. So please, let's embrace plea bargaining. Let's use it to recover as much as possible. Because remember, we are doing what? Oral, Operation Recover All Loot. So we have to recover all the loot as much as possible. We don't gain anything by just throwing people in jail. When you say the people should be thrown in jail, when they are thrown in jail, even before you get to throwing in jail, a lot of the cases take too long. You can't even finish before the elections in December 2028. Oh. Let's remember the Stephen Opuni and other cases. Seidu Agongo, all those ones. You see, we didn't finish. So please, let's remember that it's recover all loot. We are not saying operation just throw people in jail. No, recover the loot. So there's a lot more emphasis on the recovery of the loot, money that has been lost to the state. Let's recover the loot and use that to develop hospitals, roads, etc. People are hungry. We need leap to livelihood empowerment against poverty. We need to feed ourselves. So many Ghanaians are hungry, etc. What do we benefit if you throw one man in jail when the money you receive, you can recover from that man, can take care of at least 1 million people?
Yeah, but you'd also appreciate the divergent views on this particular position that you've been consistent about this, that in your view, the approach should be recovery. And that's why you served as a member of that committee, the preparatory committee for oral recovery. But also there are others who would push for the prosecution as well, so as to serve as a deterrent. But then again, beyond this statement that the General Secretary of the NDC has made publicly, Fifi Kwete, calling out some NDC lawyers, he was addressing them over the weekend. He's been commended for it. But beyond that, would you also go with those who are asking that some action needs to be taken? These persons need to be called out and also punished so as to serve as a deterrent to any other persons within the government or any other lawyers within the NDC who may not have been known but are doing this?
Oh, absolutely. The first action is what even citizens are already doing. Citizens jumping on it and lauding him, commending him, and then citizens making noise. You know the noise, yes? Even when it's accusing people wrongly, it puts all of us on our toes. It reminds us that the citizens are very expectant and very angry, right? So the reactions alone are even the second action. Fifi's statements are the first action. The reactions from citizens are the second. And the third one, you can see that obviously the duty bearers, that's the Attorney General, OSP, IOCO, and police, CID, will take a cue. Yes, so I believe that it will help. It means that we are reminding ourselves that, hey, it's Operation Recover or Loot. We are reminding ourselves that it is the reset agenda. So it's good. From time to time, we always need the reminders. Yeah.
And I do appreciate you for this. Kpebu, thank you very much for joining us. And instructive that we speak to you on matters like this because you served as a member of the Operation Recover All Loot preparatory team. Thank you, Kpebu, a private legal practitioner as well. Thank you very much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. And the Attorney General, Dennis, at some point during that one of those press briefings, did respond to some allegations against him that he was fronting and rather calling people to come and cut deals. He says he's always been in his office and these people approach his office with their lawyers. Take a look at this.
Just by way of public information, I have never, and I want to repeat that, I have never approached anybody who is under prosecution now or who will be prosecuted for a plea deal. I've seen on social media allegations that I charge someone and then subsequently I'm asking the person for a plea deal. I'm always in my office quietly and they send people to come to me and then seek audience as to whether I am amenable to a plea deal. All right, and until such a time that we achieve the plea deal, we normally don't announce it to the public. So that is what a bargain is, and then the NPA can be a result, that is the non-prosecution agreement can be the result of plea negotiations. The last question was with respect to what His Excellency the President said regarding the freezing of assets. What we froze were their bank accounts. All right, what we froze were their bank accounts, but they may have other assets such as houses, apartment blocks, cars.
No, so that's the Attorney General at one of those press briefings giving updates on cases. Well, so he has made this point about 3 or 4 months ago.
Yes, well, if you listen to the Attorney General,
yes.
It does appear that there was even that conversation within, or that discomfort within each time he was engaged in any of the plea bargaining deals or arrangements. Fortunately or unfortunately for him, he's the man that is supposed to handle those kind of deals, because when it comes to plea bargaining, on the side of prosecution, it is the Attorney General who will lead that. He has to agree with the accused person, depending on the nature of the case, before they put it before the court, for the court to either accept it or reject it. So he being at the center of that, it does appear in that clip that we just watched a while ago that even there was that sense that he was the one making offers to people to come and approach him on plea deals. Yes. And that is the more reason why, now that this conversation has come up, thrown at some lawyers within the NDC, basically brushing all the lawyers within the NDC having allegedly done something wrong, it is only important that, these matters be put in their proper perspective so that they are well understood and people will not be going around pointing fingers at people who really do not know anything about what's ongoing. And if there's the need to name and shame, as some of the civil society organizations in the anti-graft are already calling, then it has to be done, because many are those who are looking forward to oral working and working well.
Indeed, and that point is essential. So now you also would corroborate that call by civil society anti-corruption crusaders that beyond this statement by the General Secretary of the party,
yes,
that's the party in government, something more must be done.
Because if
people
not,
must be called out,
Alfred,
so as to serve as a deterrent.
If not, it will be difficult for the Attorney General to operate under law and continue with this plea bargaining that he is doing, in which case he's able to recover some of the loot. Because now every deal that he goes into will come with a certain level of suspicion. Ghanaians will be asking, is he the one the General Secretary was talking about?
Absolutely.
So that's why the matters need to be separated. That, okay, we are not talking about the Attorney General in his plea bargaining deals, but we are talking about other lawyers who are doing A, B, C, D. If there's a need to mention their names and the wrong that they are allegedly doing, for all you know, maybe they are not doing any wrong, but if it's a wrong that the party feels uncomfortable about, Ghanaians should know. Oral is not just for NDC, oral is for Ghanaians as well, because it's now become a policy that many are looking forward to it working very well.
Absolutely.
I'm sure senior Oliver Bakavomawo, who literally speaks about oral every day, looking forward to its work, would be excited to know that there are people who do not want oral to work.
True, and that's where the issue is. And to the extent that this was an integral part of the NDC's campaign in 2024, ahead of that election, which got a lot of people, in fact, they got the buy-in of a lot of people and they contributed to their winning. They have that ultimate responsibility as well to execute that promise of recovering all loot, as that is if eventually proven and established. So this is a conversation that we're not leaving today, but we're going to put a freeze on this because